class, and since this is a 8-week class, you can see that we're sort of getting into the thick of things. In this video, I'll talk about the midterm assignment, but also your first writing assignment coming up, and I'll give you an overview of this week's learning activities. I'll come back to these at the end. I just kind of like to walk through what I want you to do this week. Please read chapters 4 and 5 of the Give Me Liberty book. I know some of you have said that you have not been able to access the book. I need you to have access to that as soon as possible. This is the most popular American history textbook going right now, so you should be able to find it in any local library. You can have it from Amazon very quickly. You really need to have that book. So if you do not have that book, get it soon. After about this week, I really can't accept any excuses for why you don't have that book. So please make sure you have that book as soon as possible. I'll talk about the readings in just a moment, but I have a couple lecture activities I'd like you to listen to. The first one is this one by Wendy Warren, and this is from a podcast that I listen to, and you might actually come to enjoy. It's called Ben Franklin's World, and it's historians that are brought on by the podcaster who talk about their work. So when you open this site, you're going to actually have to go down to episode 170. There wasn't a way for me to put an actual direct link, unless one of you can figure it out and wants to tell me how to do it. So you go down here to episode 170. Oh, actually, I guess you have to go to page number 2. Oh, yeah, so a new one just came up, that's why. So you go to page 2, and you can just click play here.
Ben Franklin's World is a production.
It will start playing. So listen to that, and specifically I want you to listen to that because it's going to help you answer for discussion 3. So for discussion 3, I want you to listen to this Wendy Warren podcast, but also another one of the Before 1776 lectures. And then I want you to pick one of these 3 questions and answer it. So your first post should be 150 words, and that should be posted by Thursday. And then I would like you to respond to one of your classmates by Sunday with a 75-word response. So please make sure you're hitting those word suggestions. So you listen to the Wendy Warren, and then you listen to the lecture 27 from Before 1776. Here's the time period. If you remember, this is the YouTube video that's 18 hours long. I do not want you to listen to all 18 hours. I just want you to listen to this time period. So it begins at the 22nd minute of hour 13 and ends at the 53rd minute of the hour of 13. The second set of lectures are going to take us into the beginnings of the American Revolution. And these lectures come from Joanne Freeman, who is a preeminent historian, one of the best historians, very popular historian, does a lot of work on Andrew Hamilton and violence in American history. So she has these lectures that are online at Yale. And these are tremendous lectures. I've watched them probably 5 times, and I always learn something new. I really enjoy them. She's got a great personality. It's fun to watch her. So please take your time with these, because I'm going to be looking that you have information from these lectures in your reflection questions, but also some more of your writing assignments that are coming up. So please watch those lectures. Discussion 3 is posted, ready to go. The reflection questions are there for you to do. Please remember the word counts that I've suggested there. I would like you actually to meet that as minimum and not go over those too much. Your answer should be about those ranges. If you want, it's fine to perfectly just type your answers in just like that. I actually kind of prefer it if you keep the questions there. It makes it easier for me to grade. But doing that, it makes it look like your plagiarism percentage is higher. Don't worry about that. Unless your actual answers are plagiarized, it's not a problem. And we'll talk about plagiarism a little bit next week as you begin doing some more writing. I have some suggested clips down here. You're not required to watch these, but I thought these would be interesting for you to see. This one is quite a lengthy document. I can't think of the word. Documentary about the American Revolution. The rest are little clips from this miniseries that HBO did a couple of years ago about the life of John Adams. So it kind of gives you some insight into some major events that happened during the Revolution. I'll have quiz 3 opening for you tomorrow at noon, and everything else should be pretty self-explanatory. So the midterm assignment is due April 20th by 11:59. What I want you to do for your midterm assignment is to write me a 1,200-word essay. So I would like this to be an essay format. So there should be an introduction, then you should have some body paragraphs, and there should be a conclusion. Please do not talk about anything in your essay outside this time period. I don't want anything after 1750. I don't want anything before 1590. And so here's what your essay is asking you to answer. The English colonies in North America experienced tremendous growth and success during the colonial period. Even so, major disagreements arose among the colonists and between the colonists and their governments. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to describe major sources of disagreements in the New England and Chesapeake colonies. And your description should address causes and effects of these events. So what caused disagreement? What was the effect of these events? So one way that I would suggest that you start this is to go back to John Winthrop's model of Christian charity. Forget this. I forgot this was here. We didn't read this book, so you don't have to consider that. So focus on John Winthrop's model of Christian charity. What did John Winthrop want from the colonists at Massachusetts? What was his goal for them? And so if you remember, he wanted this shining city on the hill. He wanted them to come together and live in Christian peace. But as we see in New England, things didn't go that way. There was problems with Anne Hutchinson. There was problems with Roger Williams. There were problems with Native Americans. And the same situation is playing out in the Chesapeake. You think of Nathaniel Bacon and others. So I kind of want you to zero in on those problems and write me an essay that describes the problems, the causes of these problems, and the effects of these problems. Your paper should be 1,200 words in length. Your paper should have fewer than 5 direct quotations. So it's perfectly fine to use a quotation from the book or from the course readings. Those need to be in quotation marks, and you need to tell me the page number that you found that information from. When you use a direct quotation, you cannot use a quotation that is more than 100 words in length. So whenever you're quoting something, it has to be smaller than 100 words. For the rest of your information, you should be using parenthetical citations. So for example, if you take information from the Foner book, you read a paragraph and then you put it into your own words, you still have to cite that it came from Foner and you put the page number. So I would like you to see that. I would like to see that in your papers. Every paragraph, every body paragraph you have needs to have at least one parenthetical citation. Because you're using information from the book, it has to be cited. Even if you're not using quotation marks because it's not Eric Foner's own words, you still have to cite the page number. I know a lot of your other professors want APA style, they want MLA style, they want reference pages, cover pages. I don't want any of that. I want to open the document. I want to see, first thing, your 800 number. I don't like your names to be on the paper. And then I want to go right into your essay. The only thing I care about when it comes to citations is this, that whenever you have used information in your paper, it tells me who is responsible for it and the page number so I can find it. Please upload your papers to Vanco Hall by April 20th at 11:59 p.m. I will not take papers 48 hours after the deadline. When you upload your papers and I begin grading them, if you have a similarity percentage of more than 30%, I will turn your paper back to you to be revised. Down here shows you how I'll be grading your paper, so you can kind of give it a read before you turn your paper in, and you can see if make sure sort of be checking off, okay, I did this, I did this, I did this. So that is the week. I have your next writing assignment here. I'm going to talk about that in more detail next week, but if you kind of want to take a look at that, you won't have the readings for that until next week, but you can maybe get a sense of what I'll be looking for. So focus on the midterm assignment, due Friday, April 20th. Complete these activities, and I hope you have a nice, restful spring break once you turn everything in for this class. Take care.